So my perfect desk setup series is now called the Ultimate Desk Setup because there is no such thing as a perfect setup. It may be perfect to me, but other people have different tastes, whether they prefer a certain color scheme, they don't like the keyboard choice, or just they don't like the theme in general. So I threw away the word perfect, and now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ultimate Desk Setup, Wolverine Edition. So I know how much you guys love time-lapse videos. My time-lapse PC builds are one of the most popular ones on YouTube. So I put together a very long time-lapse build of this entire setup actually. I think it's over 20 minutes long, I'm not really sure. But if it's already available, I'll drop a link to it down below. You guys should have some fun with that. But let's start off with the PC that's powering everything. Now this is Electrobox, my very first custom water-cooled PC that I built on the channel. I did do a video on it, so be sure to check it out in case you haven't already. But it's rocking a 6700K, 2 GTX 1080s Founders Edition and SLI, and 16 gigs of RAM from G.Skill. I built it inside the Lee & PC09 case, and it was definitely an adventure to say the least. It's actually resting on 4 custom 3D printed risers on a separate Alex drawer so that it doesn't take up any extra space from the main desk. And speaking of the custom printed risers, there are a total of 8 more that are holding up the concrete tabletop from IKEA. A huge thanks to David for working with me on these and designing some really cool Wolverine style risers that fit perfectly with the setup's theme. He also custom printed the coaster and the phone stand, but more on that later. He did do a video on how he came up with the design as well as how he 3D printed them, so if you guys are into that kind of stuff, make sure to check out his channel and his video. I'll have the link below. It's actually some pretty cool stuff. I just noticed it looks like I have horns sticking out of my head because of the claws. That's hilarious. So I decided to opt for an ultra-wide monitor instead of the usual multi-monitor setup. So I hit up Asus and I told them to send over their best ultra-wide gaming monitor. So what you guys are looking at is the PG348Q G-Sync Quad HD monitor with a 100Hz overclockable panel, which I was able to hit within their menu. This is a beast gaming monitor, which is also great for productivity with its 3440 by 1440p display. I always tell everyone, once you go ultra wide, you never go back. I got the monitor hooked up on a wall mount and hid the cables using a wall channel, and for the rest of the cables I used a cable raceway and ran all the cables through it and into a surge protector from Anker. When you're putting together a pricey setup like this, you want to make sure your investment is protected from random surges or circuit breaks. The Anker 6 outlet power strip does just that, and it comes with 4 additional USB ports with 2.4 amps per port, giving your devices the fastest possible charge. I also drilled holes for the keyboard and mouse, and 1 more for the charging cable that's attached to the phone stand, which was also 3D printed by David. I ran a lightning cable through it and into the back of the monitor, so whenever I need to charge, I can dock my iPhone and juice it up. My iPhone also has the Wolverine theme with the yellow rubber inserts for the advent case, we got black carbon fiber skins for the back, and my badass Wolverine wallpaper. I won't tell you guys the price of the case that I'm using because a lot of you will freak out, so I'll drop a link to the video I did with it if you want to check it out. You guys already know how I get with symmetry, so in order to balance the phone stand, I had to add something on the other side. So I decided to throw in a simple 3D printed coaster with Wolverine etched on it. After all, I want to protect the countertop as much as I can from scratches, and if you think about it, one of the most common things we put on our desks are drinks. I also decided to keep a console for those exclusive games out there. Now this is no ordinary PS4 Slim, it's actually slightly modded. Besides the awesome skins that I applied on the PS4, I also upgraded the storage inside thanks to Seagate, which by the way sponsored this episode. I upgraded the 500GB internal hard drive to a total of 7 terabytes of space. We got 2 terabytes from Seagate's internal FireCuda hard drive and 5 terabytes from their external hard drive. As you guys know, the standard 500GB, sometimes 1 terabyte of hard drive space that comes with these consoles just isn't enough for for serious gamers out there. I think games nowadays take up to 25 to 30 gigs of space, and that's just by running off the hard disk. I'm not even talking about digital downloads. This means that you have to constantly delete games to make room for new ones, but with Seagate's FireCuda Gaming SSHD, you can not only increase the capacity to make room for more games, but also increase load times by up to 5 times faster compared to standard hard drive disks. And that's because these drives are flash accelerated. Installation was also very easy. All I did was pop off the side cover, remove one screw, and pull out the hard drive cage, and then swap out the old hard drive with the Seagate FireCuda. After all that, I downloaded the newest firmware for the PS4 and transferred it to the new drive, along with all the previous files and games I backed up from the old drive. Of course, there is a more detailed step-by-step video on how this is done, and I'll drop a link to that down below. There's also the external drive route for those that want a more convenient way of storing games. The benefits of having an external drive is convenience, lots more storage space, and the ability to be mobile. Let's say you're going over to your friend's house. Well, you can simply bring your external hard drive with you instead of the entire PS4. Just plug it in and launch any game you want straight from the external drive. But do keep in mind that the saved data does not get transferred. So you guys have to transfer the saved data from PS4 to PS4 via USB or the PlayStation Plus online storage. So if you need more space or faster load times than your PS4, then these Seagate drives will get the job done. I'll drop a link to them down below if anyone is interested. And just for my subscribers out there, I'm giving away 2 PlayStation 4s and 2 of each of the drives I just talked about. All you guys have to do to enter is just comment down below whether you want the PlayStation 4 or one of the Seagate drives. You can pick either the 2TB internal FireCuda or the 5TB external drive. 4 of the winners will be selected from the comments section, and I'll announce them on Twitter at the end of June. But back to the PS4. So as I mentioned before, I did slap on some dbrand skins, and I didn't go with the yellow because their color didn't match the yellow I had throughout the setup, and it wouldn't have looked good. So instead, I went with concrete, which actually ended up working better because it gives off a nice contrast with the darker concrete tabletop. If you guys want to check out some for yourself, I'll drop a link below. In case you guys are wondering, the Wolverine decal on it was actually added separately, and I think it adds to the theme of the setup along with the decal on the reservoir of the PC. The keyboard is from Royal Grudge, and it's actually custom painted in yellow with custom black keycaps from 2 different keyboards, and I also picked up the SteelSeries Rival 100 gaming mouse, which blends in perfectly. Now the mousepad is one of my favorite pieces of this setup, and it's actually custom made by Inked Gaming. I couldn't be more happier with the design they came up with, and the quality of their mousepads are some of the best I have seen anywhere. You can basically send in your design and pick the size of the mousepad you want, and then they will send it over. It's simple as that. As long as the image is not copyrighted, you are good to go. I mean, sure, there are a bunch of mousepads out there with a variety of different colors, sizes, even designs to choose from, but having one custom made just for you with the perfect color scheme and design and size, that's pretty awesome. But anyways, check them out, guys. I'll leave a link down below. I think they're actually having a sale on the website. If you guys use TechSource 10, you guys get 10% off their entire store. And also, if you guys like my mousepad, they do have a variety of different options to choose from that you can pick up for yourself as well. So what else do we have here? Some painted IKEA shelves that are holding up the Edifier E25 speakers. And if you guys have been following the channel for a while, then you already know how awesome these speakers are since I talked a lot about them before. I actually have a pair of these for my setup in red, and I just love the alien-like design, and the sound quality is amazing. I use them mainly for watching videos and listening to music, but when I'm gaming, I like to throw on the Corsair Void wireless headset, which is resting on a hanger underneath the desk. I love the fact that these are wireless, and the best part is that I can switch between the PC and the PS4 through the USB receiver. Also down here, I like to keep the controllers on a stand, that way they are easy to reach and don't end up scratching the surface. And while we're down here, let's talk about cable management. It was actually pretty easy thanks to the Channel Raceway, which is holding up most of the cables. I was able to run the wires from the monitor, keyboard, and mouse through here and out the other end, which is then plugged in to the Anchor outlet. You guys can't see the outlet now because I used some 3M tape and hooked it up behind the Alex drawer. I also used some cable clips to ensure that some of the wires don't hang down. Overall, I think I did a pretty decent job. Other than that, I did add a few figurines and props near the top to add to the overall personality of the setup. We got the popular Logan bobblehead, a Wolverine statue from Marvel Now, and in the middle are the Wolverine claws made out of real stainless steel. Everything was carefully measured and planned out to make sure the distance between the shelves were equal, as well as it being parallel with the monitor and desk. Same with the speaker shelves and pretty much everything else you see in this setup. Symmetry is important to me, and I feel like I did a good job putting all of this together, but you guys be the judge. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Believe it or not, it took me about 5 months to make this video, from planning it to ordering the parts, dealing with brands, and even setting it up. I mean, it took a long time. So if you did enjoy it, leaving a like, honestly, I would appreciate it. If you guys didn't like it, feel free to dislike as well, and leave me your constructive criticisms down below. What you didn't like about the setup, maybe what you liked, what you would have changed differently. Anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, also consider subscribing because I love making these setup videos. In case you missed episode 2, I'll leave that down below. It's a really cool white and green cell setup. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.